Hello guys, you alright? Red Pill Phil, still here in Birmingham at the site where the reefs have been laid. Basically I was conducting interviews and I had this brilliant chap that's been waiting politely for me to finish, and the guy's called Mick, theTicket.
Yeah, amongst many other names, but yeah.
Apparently quite prolific guy for getting out and about and spreading the message. So, Mick, theTicket, over to you, mate.
Thank you very much, Phil, good man. I respect you for sticking up for David Icke. And David Icke, by the way, if you've never heard him speak, if you haven't read one of his books and you've only read The Sun and seen him on TV for 2 minutes, you really don't know anything about the guy if you think he's a nutter. They try and ban him for a reason, because he's dropping truth bombs. You don't have to agree with everything he says. But I came here today, because I'm not a football lad. I was probably when I was about 8, when I was supporting Brazil in the World Cup or something, but I came here today because I actually wanted to get up on a stage and say something. 12 years ago, the day of 7/7, a man went on television. His name's Peter Power. I've been talking about it on a street level for the last couple of years. Well, I've actually been talking about it 12 years, but very prolifically, if you like, the last 2 years, right? So he went on telly and he said, on the day of 7/7, we were doing drills this morning. He's a counter-terrorism bloke for a private company at this stage, at the same 3 stations that got blown up. Well, there's about 300 stations odd in London, something like that. There's more chance, I think, Leicester City winning the Champions League for the next 100 years, right, than that happening as a coincidence. I'm not a coincidence theory person. So
what you're saying is, which I totally agree with, but I'm just getting it out there, is that on the same day of the alleged attacks, that we have simultaneously drills that are for the exact terrorist attack that happened. So, to me, how can you have that go on when you've got a drill and then you've got the actual attack itself?
It's impossible. So
makes you question what's going
on.
I
thought, oh my God, the country's going to wake up tomorrow, like there's going to be questions asked. Peter Power, I'm not saying he was involved in it. I'm saying he wasn't pulled in for questioning or people around him. Now the thing about it is,
but when he come on Sky and said what he'd said.
Well, he went on a few channels. That was
right.
BBC. The bit I showed.
Why do you think he done that?
I think they're laughing at us. I think they're laughing at, what's really going... Oh, I've got to say something now. It's just after the anniversary of Keith Palmer, the police officer who was killed at Westminster. On that same day, 12 years later, lo and behold, who's on the telly that evening? Back on the BBC. Yeah? I don't know why people pay their licences. You know, Jimmy Savile, Building 7.
Yeah.
I've done a speech outside the BBC last anniversary of September the 11th, and I thought I was going to get to... I had some very nasty looks from strange-looking people. I was doing what I'm talking about now, Peter Power. So Keith Palmer, just over a year ago, actually, when he got murdered. Now, it was breaking news. I was watching it as breaking news. All the eyewitnesses at the start said there was 2 people in that car. Breaking news, being interviewed live. A white guy and a black guy. The people said, yeah, the white guy got out, ran the opposite way from where the black guy did, and then he killed the cop, didn't he, the guy? So, within less than an hour, 45, something, whatever it was, I know loads of people who've seen that, by the way, live that day, it turned into 1 person. So, I don't know what these people who'd seen 2 people earlier on had been smoking, but they hadn't been smoking anything, they were telling the truth. So, obviously, we know we get lied to every day of our lives. Right, British Brainwashing Corporation.
So what do you think the implications are of running drills simultaneously?
Well, they were doing it on 9/11, as we know.
Yep.
The implications is false flag attacks. Some attacks are genuine, but a lot of the time they're not. And the implications of the problem, reaction, solution situation. Oh, that's a problem, reaction from the public. Oh, solution, take your rights away to protect you.
Which is what David Icke has always professed.
That's absolutely
and
true.
It's true.
Something else I want to say, so I've got to say, Phil.
So get it off, mate.
I've thought about this for so many years, before 9/11 even, right? You've heard of Project for a New American Century, Phil?
Yes.
You have. And you know that was signed September.
That's PNAC report, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was signed September 2000. 1 year before, and every country was named where the problems would be down the road in the future. Now, what's important for people to realise is the people who signed that came to power 3 months later with George W. Bush. And all the countries...
Oh, the neocons.
The neocons, but they had dual nationality, right, yeah? The majority of them...
Well, we know.
We know.
And this goes back to David Icke and possibly why he's getting shut down every time he goes.
A particular group, and you know what I'm talking about.
I do indeed.
They shut him down in Leicester. They try the same thing all over the world. I went to his show in Dublin last year, and the week before in Manchester, that nearly got stopped. The show I went to in Dublin nearly got stopped. It went ahead. It was a fantastic show, and his shows are fantastic. The man's a genius. Don't listen to The Sun. Don't listen to like people who've never heard the man speak. Don't listen or read one of his books. Think for yourself, because that's the only way we're going to make this world a better place. But Keith Palmer, the day he got murdered, Peter Power was back on the telly that evening, and loads of people seen it. Well, you really should have seen it coming. He was back on the BBC, and he started laughing and stopped himself. Something strange is going on, and answers have to come. People have to wake up and stop being told what to think. Get away from the mainstream, because it's pure lies.
Open your mind.
Yeah.
Because this opens the door to crisis actors, which a lot of people laugh at when you mention that. Yeah. I know Alex Jones has mentioned it a lot, and he's been castigated for it, and he's moved away from that now. When you talk about others, Sandy Hook and all this kind of, it all gets into the tinfoil and conspiratorial kind of events that gone on. But what you're saying there, there's a lot of truth to it, because it's underveiling of it all. It's there in the open, but people cannot see it.
Because it's like the bottom of a big pile of books or something.
And when you've got people coming on and, on Sky News and all the other mainstream, and actually saying, there was drills simultaneously on the day. Now, one reason why they say drills might be happening is because when the police are running around, there's an element of confusion. So it can give people cover. If these people are running a drill, and at the same time, it can give that element of confusion where no one knows what the hell is going on, because everyone's running about here to that. So that's one of the reasons why they run these drills simultaneously.
Well, I think there needs to be a lot of people have to start thinking for themselves, getting away from the mainstream media completely. Big up Richie Allen. They shut his show down on. I don't know if you know.
Really?
Richie. Yeah, on YouTube and. Big up him, because he was getting some great whistleblowers on his show. People you'd never get on the mainstream, never get on the BBC, never get on Sky, never get on none of them. They want all the liars on there, don't they? And by the way, something else I've got to quickly say. Every time we hear about Syria, very often, they'll quote something, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. I don't know if you're fully aware of this.
No.
That sounds like a big organisation, doesn't it? It does. It sounds like a massive thing. Do you know what it is?
Is it the one geezer? Right, yes, I do know. And they get all the information from him, so that's basically information fed. It's propaganda.
One man who
that's
sells
all it is.
T-shirts, living in a little house in Coventry, he's not there, and that's it. They quote him verbatim.
Yeah.
And, it's not really right.
We're supposedly getting our intelligence from this
one
guy.
geezer who sells T-shirts.
And all he does is just go on websites and basically get propaganda collated together.
He'll be quoted like it's a big organisation.
Of course, because they've got all the politicians, the media that's backing him and giving him creditations.
Yeah. As you know, I've just told you, I support the rights of the Palestinians. They're the indigenous people. I've got nothing against Jewish people. My first partner was half Jewish. I have nothing against them people. But the rights of them in their own country, about a month ago, they knocked down 32 houses in one night to build illegal settlements where the people have always lived. Now, that's not right. No one's doing nothing about it, If you stick up for... I'm not anti-anyone. We're all spirit. That's what we are, like we discussed earlier, Phil. We all carry on. But I'm not anti-anyone. If I'd have been born in Palestine, I'd probably been a Muslim. I might have been a Christian, because there's lots of Christian Palestinians. And I've got nothing against Jewish people. But you know what? There's a lot of terrible things happening there at the moment. And since, I'll be honest, since Trump's come over and took charge in America, they've got a free ticket to do what they want. Benjamin Netanyahu, as I'll call it. Right? Yeah. So I'll stick up for people when it's... You've got to think for yourself, people. Something's got to be asked about Peter Power. Something's got to be... I wanted to get up and speak, because I'm not one of the football lads, you see. I'm an individual. And
by the way...
my own way. I wanted to get up there and tell everyone.
I just want to say as well, what I'll be doing when I do upload this interview, to accompany it in the descriptions, I will be putting that video, Peter Power, which I do believe it's Peter Power 77. So I will be putting that in the descriptions, and if need be, I'll upload it into the channel myself. Because this is something that since 9/11 has really got my goat. I can see the manipulation. I can see how we're all being hoodwinked. And from the strength of that, I can see how all our liberties have been stripped one by one through the problem, reaction, solution
scenario. You know,
they've created it.
The reaction.
Yep.
Well, I was watching 9/11 that day. I thought, oh my God, this is how they're doing it. The Project for a New American Century is the excuse now.
Which one of the major lines in the PNAC report was, "We need a new Pearl Harbor." That is the line that stuck to me.
Version. And Bush came on a couple of days later. Said, "This is our Pearl Harbor." I thought, you cheeky bastard!
Right in front of you.
I've got to say something. Many years ago, I got arrested in this city. I'm not from Birmingham. I come here a lot. I was in the bar in New Street Station, the old bar they used to have years ago. It was. I've got nothing against anyone. There was a load of British soldiers there about to go off to Iraq. It was around the time of the invasion. And I spoke to them. I'd had a couple of beers, but I did speak to them. I said, have any of you boys, I was just trying to wake them up, any of you heard about the Project for a New American Century? Do you know why this is all happening? Why you're going there? Because this was planned, signed well before 9/11. And none of them had heard the Project for a New American Century. I'd probably had a couple of drinks. There was a little bit of whatever. Nothing against them. If any of them are watching this now, they might remember. I don't know. But you only had to check that out afterwards.
Serving soldier.
Oh, no, they're not allowed to ask questions.
Yeah, you know.
But you know what? All I've got to say on that one is I hope none of them lads lost their lives or got hurt. And I hope they now know about the Project for a New American Century, because I think we need to round up the politicians like Tony Blair and people like that who politics is a hoax. It's a hidden hand behind there controlling everything.
It's given the illusion that we've
got a choice every 4 or 5 years. So these people don't ever send, you know, their kids off to war. They're happy to send people off to war for profit for the banksters. And another thing I've quickly got to say, it's so important, when I'm an activist on the street talking to people, and I'm going to sell them something, oh, I don't use cash no more. I says, you build, especially young people, you are building your own prison. Start using cash. Think about it this way. Right, at the moment, say you've got a family of 5 or 6. You want to feed them in Asda, wherever. They say no to your card, you can pull out cash and feed your family.
Tangible.
2-3 years back, and I was talking about this over 25 years ago, you know, like when I was abroad DJing, I'll always be thinking about these things. Down the road, they're going to try and ban cash. 2 years ago, they said we're going to have a cashless society, the banksters did. Now, 5-6 years' time, when there ain't no cash, that's why they've made money, by the way, which you can't bloody fold up properly, so they stop using cash. That's part of it. Down the road, 5-6 years' time, these people I speak to, and I'll sell them something, and if they've got cash. And I never thought about that, what I'm going to do to feed the family where there ain't no cash. If they say no to your chip, they can turn your life off. So if you're young and you're watching this, start using cash.
Well, it's shown with the, is it the
They're building our own prisons.
It's it's right. It's like the welfare system that they've got in America. There's certain cards, is it DBT cards, that they issue out as like a welfare, so you can go and get your shopping. Well, it was shown as it wasn't a social experiment, but there might be more to it, that card, for some reason, I don't know whether it was nationally or just states, individual states, but that card was switched off. So then people who had these cards to go and do the shopping, when they got there was nothing on it. It caused a pissing riot. Because people who were on welfare could not get their head round it, and the total reaction was frigging warfare. They started just kicking off all over the place, and that gives you a little glimpse as to what it could be like in a cashless society, that if they do decide, for whatever reason, to cut you off the system, that you're on your own.
Your
you're
life's
done.
Over.
Yeah.
I mean, we see all the homeless people on the streets now. That's only going to increase because it is Agenda 21 policy. It really is. So it's only going to increase. We've got what's going on left, right and centre, and a big issue that's not big. April the 21st, global march against geoengineering, which is admitted now in America. But when you say chemtrails, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. No, believe your own eyes, look to the skies, we're being sprayed. They're dropping aluminium on us, they're dropping everything on us. We're breathing this stuff in. They'll never admit it in this country because we could sue the government. It is happening, and obviously it's part of Agenda 21. Depopulation.
What we were saying before, well, yes, of course. What we were saying before with the geoengineering, how can they then claim that climate change,
that's changing.
Now, if that's not changing it, now, I don't mind if you want to make a maths figure, but you've certainly got to put the right numbers in to create that figure. Now, what they're doing at the moment, they're leaving geoengineering, chemtrails, out that equation, and they're saying, right, this, that, and that equates to, we've got a bad planet, we need to sort it out. Put in that figure which is geoengineering. And then we can then think about it properly and get the proper answer. Without that question, without that problem that's in there, how can we... For you to vote on climate change, not knowing that geoengineering exists, you're lying to yourself. Because that is fundamental to why we've got this problem.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? On the news, quite often I'll see something about, oh, we've got to cut down car emissions in city centres, or, oh, smoking is bad. While they're dropping poison from the sky on us, so they pretend they're protecting us. It's a bit like you've got a dog that you're going to put down or something, you're being nice to it.
What's that disease you can get that they've attributed?
Morgellons.
And that's where they've got like wires and fibres coming out. So it's serious, it's legitimate.
Yeah, and none of us can run away from this because, you know, it's affecting all your children, it's affecting everyone. And when Theresa May said dementia will be the biggest killer in the UK about 2-3 months back, when it's currently number 3, I thought, I won't swear, because you know what we're all breathing in.
Theresa the Appeaser.
It's Theresa May. Theresa May.
Well, you've got a question.
She don't work for us, Pete. We know she works.
Well, when
for
you've got
I
cancers,
better not say it.
when you've got cancers, when you've got all kinds of debilitating, you know, respiratory ailments, people seem to think, well, I've got it through this, I've got it through smoking. You might have, but what does that
You should see
do?
the mad looks I get from people like I'm a lunatic when I'm dressed up as Superman, telling them about the chemtrails in Peterborough or wherever it might be. You know? You should see the looks I get. They look at me like I'm mad. Some get it, they know. Yeah, but what can we do? They say. They say, what can we do? And I say, well, there's billions of us. There's only a few of them.
Speak out.
Don't be
Stop thinking it doesn't affect you. I'll just go home and do my shopping and just shut the door, forget all about it.
United, and go away.
Then let me kids go out to play, knowing that they're breathing in all kinds of shit, you know? So, it does not make any sense.
Mobile phone towers.
Well, we got 5G, ain't we, coming in and all that, you know, the 5G down the road. But,
well,
it's
just
a mad
another
world. But people need to wake up and stop believing the man, Roger Melly, the man on their telly, the auto cue reader, you know what I mean? He's only paid loads of money to sit there and read you know, you've got to get away from the mainstream, wake up for yourself, check out people like Richie Allen, check out what David Icke says. All right, think for yourself. Don't be listening to your mate who says, oh, he's a nutter. No, he's far from that. He's a very clever man.
Well, he's been proved that he's got a lot of sense in what he talks about. He's been vilified for it. But at the same time, this is the age of awareness.
Yeah, this is the time people are going to wake up.
Consciousness is rising.
You're true. This is the most dangerous time for the powers that be, because people are waking up, and it don't have to be the way it's been. We can print our own money interest-free, and we all know what happens to people who do that. John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, Gaddafi tried to do it, the African dinar. We know what happens to people who do their own money interest-free. But you know what? National debt, they never taught me who I owed the money to at school. They never teach us these things. They just say the words national debt. We don't have to be no national debt. We can change the world very quickly.
Of course we could.
Because it's a pyramid, basically, and at the very top is a very few people, and they only have power because we give them power. So non-compliance, I'm going to say this quickly, if you want to put this on your thing, right, good reasons not to pay the BBC licence fee, right? Building 7, oh, by the way, if you don't know what Building 7 is, on the day of 9/11, the BBC announced, oh, another building's come down, Building 7, the third building on that day.
This.
Yeah, but the thing was, it was still
up
on Jane Stanley's ear.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And they give that report 13 minutes before the actual building fell.
Yeah.
So why would they have a press release ready to give out 13?
The scripts in the wrong order.
The timing was wrong. They shown themselves.
That's the reason not to pay BBC licence, first of all, because they're lying to us.
The terrorists.
Yeah, they are supporting terrorism.
There was a journalist, a London journalist, that actually fought the licence fee on the premise that the BBC was terrorists, or at least
and Matt
helping.
Campbell did as well, who was with at 9/11, the little thing I done outside. Building 7, yeah, it was owned by
Silverstein, was it?
Silverstein,
yeah, that's right.
Owned the Twin Towers.
And
all them documents. Yeah,
he got an insurance policy just before.
Yeah, that's right. Isn't it? Yeah, he was a billionaire. I mean, why would a billionaire buy a building full of asbestos, which was half empty anyway, unless you knew something was likely to happen to it? So, you know, the building had to be sorted out for the asbestos. No, just bring it down. And that's what happened. Insurance, and he got 2 payments because it was 2 planes. So. Benji Pooh's best mate and all, by the way. You know what I mean by that? Yeah. So this is a thing. Larry Silverstein.
To arrange all that, you know, all the the detonation.
Inside and outside
3
job.
months.
Inside and outside job.
R4.
Right, so we probably need to wrap this up,
Phil?
my friend. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Pleasure meeting you. I've enjoyed it.
Mickey the Ticket, we've kind of rushed through a hell of a lot of topics there. I hope people can grab onto what we were saying there.
Yeah, I hope so.
And just look for yourselves. If you don't believe, just look.
Pay the BBC licence, apart from the Peter Power false flag admission, is 2 words: Jimmy Savile. Carry on.
And on that note, I think we're better calling it a day. Mickey the Ticket.
I'll get a selfie with you.
Yeah, you can, mate. Just let me wrap this up and then we'll do it. Okay, Mickey the Ticket. How can they follow you, pal? What's the best way to follow you if people are interested in what you've got to say?
Yeah, Mick, Twitter, Mick the Ticket.
Mick
I
the
use
Ticket.
different names, and I'm Chemtrail
Right.
Mickey sometimes.
Chemtrail Mickey, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to wait. I'm doing the right thing, you know.
Indeed.
I'm
Got to
trying
stand
wake
up.
people up on the street level. I see these things and I'm too angry to not do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, we have the power. Stop saying what can we do about it. Yeah, we can do something about it and do something about it.
Couldn't have said it any more with passion as well. So that's the guy there, Red Pill Phil. Hope you like and subscribe. Mick the Ticket, Mick the Chemtrail, whatever you. He's got 101 names.
Name next week,
Oh mate, I'm sure you have. You've got to get away from him somehow, haven't you? And that's the way to do it. All right, so nice one, guys. Hope you like, subscribe. It's a little bit off topic from what we was doing today, but I could talk about this crap all day long because it's something that really you've got to understand why we're in the position we are now, and this has got something to do with it, whether you want to admit it or not. There's other issues as well, but this is particularly one of them. For me, feel really strong, really passionate about, and it affects all our children, all our health, and everything. People power. That's the only way we're going to move forward. So, Red Pill Phil, like and subscribe. I love you all. Even the pissing haters. See you later.